Hi, y'all. Taylor from Tay Time here, recapping the Season 11 finale of The Big Bang Theory and the Season 1 finale of Young Sheldon. I wasn't originally going to do it together, but then there was a nice little, essentially a big piece of information dropped on Young Sheldon, so I was like, I need to say this. Before we start, Christine Baranski had the good fight conflicts, hence why she wasn't in the finale. You would figure of all of Leonard's family, or all their families, she would be the one to be there. Who else was missing that's been a big deal? I don't know what was the deal with Professor Proton, or James Earl Jones, because you figure that they're friends now, if they'd, but then again, they got Mark Hamill, so I can't complain. They did delete a few scenes. One was a scene with Mima recording a message, and it was apparently Annie Potts and not June Squibb. And the other scene, which was supposed to be the tag scene, you know, at the end of the episode, which I can understand why they didn't do it, because they didn't have an hour, and they didn't, you know, they had the Young Sheldon piece of information drop, which nobody, not Entertainment Weekly, not TV Line, not the show in general, have talked about. But they did show it last night. I do think that they should have put maybe the memoriam card in at the end, but basically Hawking got Sheldon a pocket watch and said, "I'm so happy you finally married Amy." And it was really sweet, but I can understand why it was cut. But that's about that. Okay, so basically, they're leading up to the wedding. Will's officiating, you know, who's going and picking up who, and blah, 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 and Sheldon's, I can't call her sister anymore because you know who she is. Missy's pregnant again, and she's separated from her husband. They handled Laurie Metcalf being on Broadway and filming her scenes very well by saying, oh, she went to go to the hotel, blah, 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 blah. And as they're all picking people up, and they had Teller not speak. He would always be cut off and everything. I thought that was great. Howard finds his dog, and it turns out to be Mark Hamill's dog, Bark Hamill. And he's like, I need to owe you something. Please let me owe you something. And he's like, you're going to regret saying that. So then while they're getting ready, first off, Laurie and Jim made me cry. Absolutely beautiful scene about, you know, Dad not being there and whatnot. And like before that, there was like a whole thing with Amy's parents about like, this is where I'm going to have to live when you die. And everybody's like, so they're doing the wedding. And Mark Hamill shows up. Him and Will have a nice little fight, not fight sequence, but like a altercation. That's the best word. Disagreement, maybe. No, Will and Jerry did not have a Stand By Me reference. And Stuart takes Denise because they find out Mark Hamill's going to be there. Bert is there. Kripke's there. But you don't know Kripke's there until the end. But as Sheldon is talking to his mother, he realizes that he needs to do string theory asymmetrically, not symmetrically, and of course it leads him and Amy to being late. So Leonard goes to look for him, but they decide to let Mark Hamill answer questions about Star Wars, which Stuart knows more about apparently. And during this whole thing, Leonard's like, "Oh no, I can help you two out here." Blah, 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 blah. And then. And Amy's wearing the tiara, obviously, so Amy, Leonard, and Sheldon are working on this problem, and Penny's out there all by herself. And finally, Amy's mom, who was brilliantly played by Kathy Bates, stands up and is like, I'm going to go get Amy, this shouldn't have, blah, 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 and Penny shuts her down. And then she goes to her Amy's dad, played by Teller, are you going to say anything? And he just whispers, thank you. And she continues to put her in her place, and I was like, yes! So then they get married. Beautiful vows. Beautiful vows. Another reaffirmation that I am Amy Farrah Fowler. But beautiful vows. And then, which of course make Mark Hamill cry. And then, as they're walking down the aisle, you hear, at last. And I was like, Kripke. And then there's Kripke in the background. My love has come alive. I was like, that was such a perfect ending. Because you wouldn't expect Kripke to do that. And then, if you were watching the timing at that point, it ended at like 8:29 exactly, that sequence, because I think Young Sheldon actually started at 8:30 last night. So now it's getting to Young Sheldon. So, of course, Sheldon is trying to stop Mima from dating Richard Kind in order to date Wallace Shaw. which causes some issues of its own, but you find out that Meemaw does really miss the fact that, you know, her husband died because they were planning, you know, they were about to retire, and then he passed away, and which is a nice echo to what's going to happen with Sheldon's mom, which you saw in the wedding, literally the episode previously, and the episode before that where we first got introduced to older Georgie. Georgie's obsessed with Tony Danza for some reason, and who's the boss? Don't know why. And Missy's like, you do know the girl's the boss, right? Bless Missy. Oh, God. And then, because of this whole altercation with Meemaw and Wallace Shaw and everything, Sheldon writes his first contract. So, it was a night... I would have been totally fine if that's where it ended. You know, this is the first contract. And then he goes, well, I would end up writing contracts all my life, you know, for my roommates, for my wife. And then there was a pause. Not so much of a pause, but a pause. And then he said, and my children, and went nuts. Went nuts. They confirmed Shamey have kids. Like, I really want to know if Mayim knew about this. Maybe also Johnny because of the roommate line. I would love to know the Big Bang's reaction, like their cast's reaction to that line, because there's a chance that, you know, nobody in young Sheldon knew either, but I think, you know, maybe the kids, except for Ian, may not have known, but that was like a huge thing, which now leads to this next thing, which is, and I'm totally prepared that next year's Big Bang's last year. Like, I'm totally prepared. You know, I'll be happy whether it, you know, because we've had a good run. I'll be happy if we get one more season extension. I don't, you know, I'm prepared. Either way. But it brought up a lot of old, like, feelings, especially in this age of revivals. Sheldon narrating young Sheldon. First off, it's very How I Met Your Mother-ish, but we don't know who he's talking to, and we don't know when he's talking. So either this will connect to an eventual next year's, you know, finale of BBT. I'm not saying that they're ending next year. Should have put a total disclaimer on before that. But it's, you know, it could be a potentially young Sheldon finale. It could be, because, you know, I remember they asked Chuck Lorre, I don't know if it was around the time Roseanne was announced, because of Johnny Galecki, but they had asked Chuck Lorre, you know, in this age of revivals, do you see yourself in 20 years, you know, coming back? Because, you know, you've lasted longer than Friends, you're hitting, like, you know, bye years, you know, Roseanne came back, Will and Grace came back, and he was like, I can actually kind of see that. So, where is this going, this narration, is now my question. These were two solid, amazingly well-performed season finales. Brilliant performances, brilliant writing, all of the above. So, let me know what you guys thought down in the comments down below about last night's season finales of the Big Bang universe. Please like and subscribe. Remember, I was just speculating there. Don't go after me, please and thank you. And, yeah, that's just about it. Have a good day, guys.